Hey, today I want to show you how to make a butcher block desk and you won't even need power tools. So all the materials I used here are going to be listed in the description below. First thing, obviously you need to get a butcher block. I have had one from IKEA for the past 5 years, I would say, and I have used it for everything. It is my literal giving tree. I was using it as a craft table for a long time and I didn't really care if stuff got on it. And it was completely covered with paint and markers, and my kids used to draw in it. And I film a lot on this table, and it was starting to get really distracting. Like, my shots kind of sucked. So I really needed to strip this whole thing back. Even if you do start with a pristine piece of butcher block, I would still recommend doing some sanding so that your stain will take better and it'll create a smoother surface. So I didn't go too crazy. If it was lumber, like straight lumber, I'd probably go through like an 80, 100, 120, 180, 220 grit. For this, I did a 60 and 80. No, I lied. I did 60, 120, and then I ended with a 220, and that gave like a pretty good surface for the stain to adhere to. So you could hand sand this desk. It's not gonna need like so much stripping down that would be like a hindrance to do it by hand, but personally I just feel like that would be a lot of work. So if you have an orbital sander, that's gonna help you a lot. It is not required, which is why I say this does not require power tools. I just use my orbital sander because I found it helpful and they're pretty inexpensive. I think I got it for $45 on Amazon on sale. And it works really great. I use it for everything. So for stain, I'm using a Minwax Early American. It's a penetrating stain, so you'll see a lot of that nice wood grain. It's sort of a medium, warmish brown bordering on neutral. So it's a really good pick if you already have a lot of wood tones going in your house and you're not sure which way you want to go. Once your stain cures, just throw on a coat of poly. I say a coat. I did 2 coats. I should have done 3 coats, but it was 10 degrees outside and it was not curing, and I'm not doing this inside until the spring where I can open up the windows. So I have 2 coats on. I should have done 3, but what you're looking for is an even, smooth, subtle sheen with no dull spots, no shiny spots. You really just want it to be very nice and even. And that's gonna make it feel very smooth, and it's gonna give the wood the best protection. All right, for legs, you have so many options for legs. Now, I have done hairpin legs before, and I have actually a video about like how to best use hairpin legs, things to look out for, just like a basics video. So I'll drop that in the description below so you can check that out if you're thinking of going that route. So for this desk, and this is what sort of prevents you from needing power tools, I got these really funky industrial schoolhouse metal clamp legs that all you do, it's just an Allen wrench on the bottom, and it basically sandwiches the butcher block between like the clamp and the top. They are really cute. They were so easy to install. I got them in red because I have this, you can see this green metal cabinet behind me, and I love army green and cherry red together. It's just so good. Now, as easy as these legs are to install, you still want to be thoughtful about it. So sort of get an idea of how far from the edge that you want all these legs to be. Do 1, measure how far from the edge to the edge of the leg, and then mark that. I did a simple 3 inches all the way around just because it was the easiest and it looked really good, so fine, 3 inches. So I just went around and I made a mark at 3 inches on all 4 corners, and then I made sure that the outside edge of each leg was lined up with that mark before I tightened everything up. So now everything is perfectly even and symmetrical. This desk is also like super renter friendly. If you're planning to move again sometime in the near future, you can just take the legs right off and transport everything separately and then just put everything back together at your next place, which I think is pretty convenient. So that's it, it's pretty much done. If you want to do this with hairpin legs, I suggest you check out this video right here.